Hello, I did not upload a video yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that today. So today, my fiance and I went to the North Carolina Art Museum because they've had this exhibit for a couple months, I think. I'm not really sure. But it was called this was the last weekend of it, and it's called You Are Here. And the exhibit itself had like 17 or 18 different pieces of artwork. And it was pretty interesting because it wasn't like paintings or anything like that. Most of these exhibits had some kind of multimedia aspect to them. And a lot of, like I had some friends who had gone and I would see pictures of like one or two particular exhibits, and I didn't realize there were so many different ones. So we went to the building it was in and we went downstairs. And we were able to go see all the different exhibits. Some I thought were a lot, really fascinating, and other ones were just something cool to look at. But I guess some examples of some of the things that we saw. The very first exhibit actually we went to was, they were like all these little balls of light, like LED lights, kind of hanging from this section, and in kind of, I don't know, this three-dimensional shape. So the little lights that were kind of closer to the top and front, there were like fewer of them, and then as it got back, like it kind of went in like this arch shape, and as they got towards the back of that section of wall, they were like more and more clustered together. And as you looked at it, at first it was just some lights kind of twinkling a little bit, but as you looked at it more, you would see like some shadows move by, and some of them looked like maybe a swimmer swimming along. Some looked like, another one looked like a person's shadow just walking along. And that exhibit was called Waves, so I think it was supposed to kind of make you think of like waves on the water and people swimming along, maybe like you were under the water. And then we walked around to this other section of the exhibit where there were like two pieces of artwork by the same person. One of them was, it was actually just like this video on a loop. And it was of this Muslim woman in a veil on a beach. But the way that it was actually designed, it wasn't just a video of her just standing there. It almost made me think of like a kaleidoscope, because when it started, like you could see the image of the beach, but it was like repeated 4 times with like mirror images in like the 4 different quadrants. And then you could see like this black line almost, and then it kind of got like a little bit wider and a little bit wider, and then you could see that it was supposed to be a person, but kind of like when you turn a kaleidoscope and some shapes blend into each other, and that's what it reminded me of. And then there was the other exhibit like right next to that one by the same artist was called Globe, but what it was, again, it was kind of like a kaleidoscope where there was this one, I think it was a video screen with like some images playing, and it was down this, almost like a tube, but not quite a tube, like a prism with mirrors all around the edges. So you could look down the tube and you could see this video image, and it was reflected in all the mirrors. And however the mirrors were set up, if you like walked back enough and maybe went to a certain angle and looked down at the reflections, it looked like a globe. So that was really cool. Then let's see, I'm trying to think of the exhibits that I thought were really cool. There was another exhibit by a Japanese artist. Don't remember the name, and I didn't bring the flyer home with me. I forget exactly what that exhibit was called, but it was basically this box. So on the outside, it just looked like kind of a box or a cube with mirrors on the outside, but there were like three or four portholes on the sides that people, like only 3 at a time, could go up to it. But you could look through the porthole, and you could look inside, and there was like all these different LED lights. And so it would start playing this pattern of lights, and it started off with like mostly white lights with like different colors, and then it kind of was there for a little bit, and then it flashed away, and then it was all red, and it flashed away, and it was all orange. It was like going through these different sets of different colors, and that was really neat to look at. So I took some video of that, and I took some pictures. If I'm able to, I'll stick some pictures in here. We'll see. After that exhibit, there was like another sort of kaleidoscope type, and another piece of artwork that was like this ring hanging with a light kind of like reflecting on it. So it cast a shadow on the wall, which kind of made me think of like an eclipse or something like that, but it was just a circle, a ring. But then as the circle would turn, it was a mirror as well, so it would sometimes reflect the light back out to us. So that was neat. There was one particular part of the exhibit that we were really looking forward to, that it was this cube, hollow cube, kind of like made of raw iron, or some kind of metal, that was inspired by like designs at the Alhambra in Spain, which was like this huge, like more Muslim palace. Yeah, it's a palace. And so the artist was inspired by that artwork, and there was a light inside of the cube, and so it projected the shadows of the designs on the side of the cube onto the walls and the ceiling and the floor. It was so cool, and I took pictures of that as well. And then we walked around some of the other exhibits around there that did similar things. Like some of the different exhibits that I really liked were ones that had these interesting patterns, that had maybe some see-through elements, and that there were like some lights around them that were either projecting parts of the sculpture or whatever onto the walls in a cool way, or something where you could look through and there were mirrors around some kind of video or some kind of screen that were just like reflecting it into like all sorts of angles. So those were pretty cool. Anyway, in general, like I love the North Carolina Art Museum. They have a lot of free exhibits. This one did cost money. They'll have special exhibits that you have to pay for. And we've been to a couple, and I've really enjoyed those. And then even the free ones that are just there all the time. It's such a great museum. And just being able to go to like an art museum or something like that when you have the ability to, and just having it free that anyone can go there without having to pay is just really awesome. So that was my day. Like I said, if I'm able to, I'll put in some pictures of some of the things I saw. Have a great day. Bye.